call this meeting of the Human Resources Committee to order. It's Monday, August 14th. We're at Nashua High School North, and it's almost 10 minutes after 6. Mrs. Oden will call the roll.
Mrs. Zine?
Yes.
Sorry. Mrs. Oden is here. Dr. Murataki?
Here.
And Ms. Hohensi?
Here.
Okay. Also attending Dr. Mosley, Ms. O'Gara, Dr. McKinney, Ms. Fitzpatrick, Mr. Farrington, and Ms. Van Twyver. And that's all at this circle, okay?
So we certainly have a quorum. And so the first order of business is we will be getting to know Erin Anderson, who is a candidate for the assistant principal at Sunset Heights Elementary School. If you'd like to come up and join us at the table, and maybe you'd like to start with giving us a little introduction to you and how you come to be with us.
I'm Erin Anderson. I am.
You have to look right into the mic.
Got it. Thank you. I'm Erin Anderson, and I have been the teacher team facilitator at Mount Pleasant for the past 4 school years. In that role, I've worked a lot with teachers collaboratively to, work on curriculum and meeting the needs of all the students in the school. Prior to that, I was in Florida for 7 years teaching 2nd grade and 4th grade. And I had the opportunity to work with a really diverse population down in Florida. And I really think that that's where I fell in love with education. So that's the short of it.
Okay, now we've come to the questions from the board. Do any of the board members have questions they'd like to ask our candidate? Well, maybe I need to break the ice. I would ask you about leadership, your view of leadership, and I guess one of the things I have noticed is that when you become principal, you are the voice for the school, the way I see it. And sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I especially think of when these buildings need renovations. If the board is not aware of what's needed, then they go to what they are aware of. So without the voice of the principal, we really have no way of knowing. So I'd like for you to share with us your view on leadership and how you feel. Did you want to say something, Mrs. O'Gara?
Erin's going to be the assistant principal? Yeah? Okay.
I'm sorry. Did I promote you? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can definitely still answer that question. My viewpoint on leadership would definitely be to work collaboratively with all the stakeholders in the building and make decisions based on what is best for students and student learning. And if that comes down to something that needs to be done in the building or something that needs to be done as far as curriculum or instruction, then we would definitely make sure that we listened to those people who had something to say and work through the process.
I actually love it. I actually love it when our principals, assistant principals come in and share with us, because it gives us a better feeling for what our schools are like, and then we make better judgments, hopefully. Are there any other questions anybody wants to? Dr.
Yes.
Murataki.
Don't worry, my memory's going too. So my usual questions actually are, why do you want this job? So that's the first one. What makes you want to be the assistant principal at Sunset Heights?
I think that being in a leadership role is definitely someplace that I feel comfortable. And working with students and teachers, I see myself as an instructional leader. So making sure that I'm meeting the teachers where they are in their course of instruction so that we can best meet the needs of the students.
Okay, and a second question, if I might. So we're basically, you're coming from an interesting teaching experience at one of our Title I schools. So I guess they've had a full-day kindergarten for a while. Mm-hmm. So how do you expect that to go at your new school. And do you anticipate some problems? And how do you, if you do, how do you think you might
I think that
deal
with
with those?
anything new, there's always some difficulties that might arise. And I think that being proactive and rather than reactive is definitely something to do, kind of looking forward and foreseeing what difficulties might arise and trying to act on them before they become too large. I've only worked in schools with full-day kindergarten. In Florida, that's where we were at, and the schools in Florida were really large. So we had actually 10 full-day kindergartens in one of the schools that I worked at. So that is my experience, is full-day kindergarten, and I think that the excitement that kindergartners bring to a school, the more of them, the better off we are. They have that excitement for learning when they first walk in. So being proactive is definitely, I think the way to be.
Thank you very much.
Contagious, isn't it? They're wonderful at that age.
It is.
Mrs. Oden?
Yeah, hi, congratulations. I wanted to ask you, as assistant principal, you will be handling the bulk of the discipline problems. When a parent disagrees with you vehemently about what you have decided to do, how do you handle a situation like that?
I think everything starts with a conversation. I think that all voices do have a place to be heard. So if a parent is upset, that we would definitely want to discuss and talk about what has made them upset, making sure that we're following the protocols that are in place, and looking at each situation and working through the process. But giving a parent an opportunity to come into the school and have a conversation. And if, we disagree, as long as we've had that conversation and the result is what's best for the student and the school and they're, making them successful in school, then I think we could probably come to an agreement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hohensee?
Thank you. Congratulations. I'd also like to ask something about recess, how you feel about discipline and recess and making sure that, especially the young students, have fun when they're learning, so they get excited.
I think student engagement is the number one most important thing in a school, and what we can do to make students comfortable and happy at school is definitely what needs to guide us. I think that if a student does need disciplinary action, that we need to be aware of what is best for the student in that. I would obviously have to work with my principal on what is best practice at that school and the decisions that they make, and work through the process. I think you have to take each situation as it stands. I think that students need recess. I think they need to be outside and running around and releasing that energy. Our students need social interaction. We live in a very social world, and the best way to learn to be social is to be around your peers. So when it comes to discipline and recess, I think like I said, I'd have to work with my building principal and all of the stakeholders to make sure that we make the best choice.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Van Twyver?
I'm very glad that you made it to the top here, darling, because you're an alumni, Florida Atlantic University.
Oh.
Yes,
Go
I think there's
Owls.
three of us in the area right now. While you were at, I think it was Mount Pleasant, how did the reading scores go with iReady and over the year, last year?
Over the last few years, we've shown an increase. The teachers at Mount Pleasant have been amazing in embracing the daily 5 and Readers Workshop structure, where we expose students to just write text, and they're able to read for extended periods of time on their level, and get that individual or small group instruction that they need. And the teachers at Mount Pleasant have worked so hard on that. So as a result, our reading scores have definitely shown growth.
Can you give me a percentage?
I don't have the percentages off the top of my head. I know that we have made, if I think of, let me look at the triangle.
When did most of them, may I?
Sure.
When did most of them happen? Was that this year, last year, the last couple of years?
I think if I'm thinking back to like our 3-year growth, the first year we showed exponential growth. It was really amazing. We have classes, if we look at the growth report, who've made 141%, 150% growth based in the area of reading. And we work to celebrate that with our teachers to make sure that we show them their hard work has paid off. And that the students are growing. And, Mount Pleasant is a school where some students are significantly below grade level, and the only way to get to grade level is to make more than 1 year's growth. And as a school, thinking about the growth report, we are always over that 100% line. So on average, our students make more than 1 year's growth.
Can you contribute to that, to iReady and the features that it has to pinpoint the areas where students are not doing well?
Yeah, we use the iReady reports a lot and we break them down to whole school need, so what we can do as a whole staff professionally. And then in our collaboration meetings, we'll look at the iReady reports along with, conference data, one-on-one student data, small group data, benchmark data. We use iReady as a measure. It's not our only measure, but we definitely look at that to make sure that we are pinpointing the specific needs, whole school, grade level, and each individual class, and then right down to the student as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So are you saying that's been for several years they've done that higher, that is a wonderful achievement. I was glad you asked the question because that's very encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
That's more than 1 year? Is that this year or 3 years,
Yes,
5
over
years?
the course of the last 3 years, the students at that school have made, and if I'm thinking specifically at the growth report that shows the percentage over the 100% line, the students have made in 1 year's growth as a school on average. And then there's specific classrooms that have made, upwards of 150, 160% growth.
That's wonderful. That's,
It's a big accomplishment.
yes, it's something to be proud of.
Of that, there's a buzz around reading. We had 5th grade students last year going home for their holiday winter break, asking for series books,
To take home and read.
Yeah, to take home and read, or
That's a
they're asking
miracle.
for that, for their gifts from their parents or from their grandparents or their family members. And to me, making growth in reading is amazing, but if we can create lifelong learners
Enthusiasm.
and enthusiasm and the buzz around reading, it really is an amazing thing.
That's one of the board's goals. Mrs. Oden?
Yeah, can I just ask, do they cluster group at Mount Pleasant?
I mean, not specifically, no. We have students, a lot of students who fall into the different categories that, students with disabilities, ELL students, free and reduced lunch. We have lots of students who fall into those separate categories. So they're typically spread across.
Evenly?
I don't necessarily know that they would be 100% even. I think that's our goal, but when new students move in and students move out, it's sometimes a transient population. So, our goal is to balance as much as we can, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I move to nominate Erin Anderson, Assistant Principal, Sunset Heights Elementary, for the 2017-18 school year at an annual salary of $73,500.
Second.
Is there any discussion, comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Appears to be unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you as well. Thank you.
And now I think we need a motion to go into non-public.
Under
RSA 91A 3 2B.
2B? Okay. Looking for a motion. I move to go into non-public session under RSA 91A 2B, the hiring of any person as a public employee.
Second.
Roll call. That's roll call, right?
Roll call, yes. Oh, let me find this. Mrs. Eam,
Yes.
Mrs. Oden, yes. Dr. Moritaki?
Yes.
Ms. Hohensie?
Yes, but I'm the alternate.
Okay, we are in non-public.
We are now. I'd like to reconvene this meeting of the Human Resources Committee, and do I have a motion to seal the minutes?
Motion to seal the minutes.
Second.
Under RSA 91A3 semicolon 3.
Second.
And as I believe that one's the one that requires the roll call.
Uh,
Mrs. Ziem?
Mrs. Ziem?
Yes.
Mrs. Oden, yes. Dr. Moritaki?
Yes.
Okay.
It's unanimous.
Unanimous.
And the next issue on our agenda is the personnel recommendations. Are we ready for a motion?
Yes. Move to accept the personnel recommendations of August 14th, 2017.
Second.
Is there any discussion, comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It was unanimous. Is there a motion?
Yes.
Oh, no.
For the principal, the assistant principal. Move to approve the nomination of Erin Anderson, assistant principal, Sunset Heights Elementary School, for the 2017-18 school year at an annual salary of $73,500.
Second.
Is there any discussion, question, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Did you still want to go into non-public again, Ms. Hohensie? At the end of what? HR will be over. We're ready to... Well, that would be up to Mr. Farrington. I'm only chair of HR, but I would assume you could request it, yes.
Would that be acceptable to you, Mr. Farrington?
What's the purpose?
To discuss a personnel matter?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that being the case, do I have a motion?
Move to adjourn.
I was going to say you can't do it, Bob. I know you're ready to do it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
The time is 7:26.